Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and today I want to show you what I've done with one of the new floral stamp sets that I've bought. I don't tend to go for floral, but I did this time in a big way, and this is one of the stamp sets that I bought, Blossoms in Bloom. I'd seen so many demonstrators and crafters using this that I knew I had to have a go. And it's perfect for the beginner crafter. If you've never stamped before, you can stamp with this. And despite me being a massive Stampin' Up fan and a Stampin' Up demonstrator, that's how much I love it, I'm still trying to build my confidence in stamping. I'm still a little bit scary of it, and I see other crafters do it and I think, oh God, they look so confident in what they do, but it just takes just a little bit of bravery. And I'm going to show you how easy this is, just with literally a few different stamps on this. What I didn't realise as well when I bought some of these new stamp sets, that all of them had Get Well Soon in there. It was a bit depressing really as I was going through them and thought, I don't have loads of people that are ill, but anyway, I've got a Get Well Soon sentiment in there just in case. So I'm going to do a different version of this one, and I'm still going to use this big floral. This is one big stamp on one big block, and I'm also going to use this for the centre and this for some pollen, and I'm going to be using the happy birthday because that's most of the time why we make a card. So I'm going to do it in a different colourway. So in this one I've used Petal Pink and Magnolia Madness, and I've used Magnolia Madness in the pink layer behind it. So I started off with a card base. So this measures 11 3/4 by 4 1/8, and I've scored it down the long side at 5 7/8, and I'm just going to fold that and burnish it, and that's my main card base. I've got Misty Moonlight, and I've used this so much I'm starting to run out of it now. I love this colour, really love this colour, and it goes with so many other colours as well. And this measures 4 inches by 5 3/4. And that's not right. Something's not quite right there. The measurement of this is wrong. Only when you're on camera, isn't it? This should be 4 1/8, and it's not 4 1/8. Now it's 4 1/8. Oh, that feeling of dread when I put the card up next to it. Now it's 4 1/8. All of the measurements are on my blog. There is a link to the blog post in the description bar. So this is 4 inches by 5 3/4. And I'm going to stick that, panic over Donna, panic over. And I'm just going to stick that to my card base there. It could actually do with being, I'm just going to take a little bit off the bottom there. Should be 5 3/4, and it is 5 3/4, but maybe just the measurements on my card base were just ever so slightly out. So I'm literally just going to skim a tiny bit off the bottom there. That's what I love about this paper trimmer. You can just do some really teeny tiny slices like that. Now, is that better? That is an awful lot better. So with some liquid glue, because when I'm layering, this is my glue of choice, just because I can wiggle it. Those of you that watch me all the time, you know that I need that little bit of wiggle room, and that's why I use liquid glue. You can use Stampin' Seal if you like, our new adhesive. I've not tried that yet. That's brand new. I've not tried it yet. Maybe next time I put in an order I will get some, but I do prefer liquid adhesives or tear and tape or mini dimensionals. That's what I prefer to use. So that's how a lot of my cards start off, with a card base when I've measured it properly, and then a colour layer. I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So this is a slightly bigger border. This has got a 1/4 inch border. Okay. So the colours I'm going to be using for my flowers here, so all about the pink on this one, all about the blue on this one, and I'm going to use Balmy Blue for my main colour of my flowers, and then the inside of the flower will be in Misty Moonlight just to match that card. So with our big block, don't be scared of the big block. Take your stamp pad and take the pad to the stamp. Don't need to press hard. And you'll see on this that it doesn't, I don't know if you can see that, it's quite sunny today. It doesn't cover absolutely everything. That's fine. If you look at this, you'll see that you're not going to get a solid block of colour. That's what makes your stamped images look just that little bit more interesting. So don't press hard on that. Just tap it. And then I need to decide which way round. Now it is quite heavy. This block is quite heavy. So you need to keep hold of it, because I've done this before and dropped it. And then decide which way round you want your flowers. Now I want my sentiment to go up here. If I wanted it to go down here, then I would turn this round. But I want it to go at the top. So I'm just going to take just a few seconds to decide where I'm going to put that. This is the great thing about photopolymer stamp sets, you can see where it's going. And I'm just going to now make a decision, because I'll be looking at that for ages. So drop it down and give it a firm press. That's what you need there, just a firm press. Like that. And then it kind of sticks to it, and just take the card away. So that's in Balmy Blue. And actually that Balmy Blue, it's come out darker than I thought it would actually. This looks quite light, but it's come out darker than I thought, which is fine. So with my Misty Moonlight ink, and I've got this flower, well, it's kind of like the inside of a flower. You could use it as a flower if you wanted to. Just very, very lightly tapping. No hard pressing into it, it's not needed. And then I'm just going to put this in the middle of each flower. Like that. I think these two blues go beautifully together. Sorry, that was the phone ringing while I'm filming. And what makes it even more annoying was a scam call. Excellent. Right, so there is my stamped image. I just want to put another little bit of colour in there. So I'm going to take this. It doesn't have to be pollen. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. It doesn't have to be pollen, but it could be. I don't know what that is. Sometimes people use this type of stamp just to create an extra bit of texture in their cards. This is So Saffron, and I am just going to exactly what I've done here, but I did that yellow was Bumblebee, so this is So Saffron, so a different shade of yellow. Oh, got a bit of ink on my block there. And I'm just going to put a few of these, just a couple of little taps onto the ink. Actually, I love blue with yellow. Absolutely love it. Do I leave it there? I'm leaving it there. I never know whether to do that extra little stamp. So now for the sentiment. So what I've got is a piece of Misty Moonlight. This is just a little bit of scrap. This measures 3/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches. And well, actually I'll put this one on first. And then this piece of Whisper White measures 5/8 of an inch by 2 3/8 of an inch. And I've got my happy birthday sentiments on my block there, which is a bit crooked. So I just use my grid paper just to help me line that up. And again, in Misty Moonlight, I'm going to stamp this. But but you could do it in black if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Managed to get that straight first time. Okay, I've finished just building this card. So I'm going to be using mini dimensionals to put this onto this. So just while I'm doing this, if this is the first time that you've come across me, then if you like simple, straightforward, easy to follow tutorials, perfect for the beginner crafter, and there are some intermediate projects as well, then come and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified of any of my future tutorials as they come up. I've also got a blog, come and subscribe to that as well. I don't always video all the time. I might just make a quick project or give you some Stampin' Up news via my blog. So you can come and subscribe to that. So the link to the blog post that goes with this project is in the description bar. And when you click on that, you can then see a link to subscribe to my blog. So I'm just going to stick that on there with some liquid glue. And just put that on there like that. And you could get a load of these going. I'm just going to let that dry off a second. You could get loads of cards like this going, get a real production line going of different colours, and no two cards would be the same, because you could, there are lots of different ways in which you could mix this up. Lots and lots of different ways. You could keep it really, really dark and maybe use some grey card and then stamp with some black and maybe some red. It really doesn't matter. Every card will be completely unique. You could do this with, we've got some lilac colours. There are different blues in there, some orangey colours as well. Anything, just absolutely anything. The world's your oyster. So now I'm just going to take that card front and I'm just going to glue it onto there. You could just get a whole stack of birthday cards or anniversary cards, so you've just got a whole year's card ready just with one stamp set. Let's just line that up. And there you have it. Stand up like that, which you can't see on camera, but there you have it. Two different types of cards for two different occasions, using any colourway of ink that takes your fancy or takes the fancy of the person that you're making the card for. So I hope you enjoyed that very simple tutorial. I'll be back again very soon with another one, but try to put a tutorial almost every other day on my blog, so hop over there and subscribe to that. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.